Hello, love to you and your loved ones and experience of all that is. Feel like I haven't made a video in a while, and I'm just gonna talk right now. I've been I've been working on music, that's one thing. Working, and also just kind of working on myself a little more with the retrogrades and all this fear going on in the air. Season of sacrifice, which was so crazy, including the people that died and the terrorist stuff and bombings in Syria and now this possible North Korea stuff. So, first of all, people just relax. I made a few memes. Relax your hips, relax your root, relax your feet if you want. Breathe inside of your solar plexus, like I always say. Just ground yourself. Take some deep breaths throughout the day. You know? In fact, let's just do something else here. Very powerful, easy practice. Do not underestimate this. Okay, I'm just going to show you real quick, and then I want you guys to do this on your own whenever you remember. So you're going to breathe in like 5 seconds, around 5 seconds. Hold for around 3 seconds. Exhale for 5 seconds. Hold for 3 seconds. And in the between the inhale and exhale, try to just be empty and find the stillness of within you and the stillness of the universe. Okay? So here we go. Breathe in. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, 1,000. 5, 1,000. Hold and be still. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. Exhale. 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. 4, 1,000. 5, 1,000. Hold and be still. Inhale again. Okay, so do this on your own. Obviously, you don't want to hear someone counting to you when you do this. Very powerful practice. Do it. Okay. So let's go to the regrets now. Just to put things into perspective. We're in fear. We're worried about North Korea. We're worried about our bills. We're worried about what our kids are doing, what our kids are going to be in the future. What are we going to be in the future? How's our lifestyle going to be? Are we going to be safe? Blah, blah, blah. Okay? So let's just put all this into perspective. Number 1, I never pursued my dreams and aspirations. We get so zoomed in. Most of this is because we're too zoomed in. Bills and worries and fear zoom us in, and we don't see the big picture, and then later on we regret it when we're on our deathbed. So you already get that. That's just something you have to choose to do. You have to have the guts, the cojones, the courage to do it, and not care what might happen. I mean, you're taking risks. Life is all about taking risks, especially when you see things the way I see it. But anyways, number 2, work too much and never made time for family. Okay? Fear of not having money, fear of being homeless, fear of suffering, basically. It's sort of connected in that you gotta just take chances and take risks. It's not a big deal. Like, you've lived many lives, you've had very horrible lives, you've had very good lives. You're just in one of them again, and it's not a big deal. If this life doesn't go well, it's not a big deal. Just as long as you've learned in your soul progression, okay? In my opinion. Number 3, should have made more time for friends. So yeah, same thing, family and friends. Our relationships is number 2 and number 3, which is huge. because of fear, we neglect our relationships and only have relationships on Facebook. And keep in mind, relationships is everything. Relationships to the earth, relationships to yourself, relationships to your hobbies, to the sun, to the universe, to all that is, the God. Okay? 4, I should have said I love you more. Yeah, I'm in Japanese families like me, we never say I love you, and sure, it's I love you is important because that's we hold that in high esteem, and that's the ultimate way to communicate directly that you care about someone. But it's not just words. You could say I love you more and not show it. So just show that you love them through communication, through action. Show people you love them, the ones that you care about. And that's good for you too. You're loving yourself when you do that, when you love others. Okay? 5, should have spoken my mind instead of holding back and resenting things. Once again, all of these have to do with fear. And then there's also anger, resenting. You're holding back, that's the fear, and then resenting things, holding on to the anger. And like Buddha said, so allegedly said, something like, holding on to a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else, you're the one that gets burned. And it's so true, at least for yourself, let go of these things. You don't even have to tell the person. Just have a moment with yourself and cut that contract, so to speak, with that anger with that moment, with that wrong that someone did to you. Let that go. Okay, 6, should have been bigger person and resolved my problems. It's connected to number 5. Same kind of thing. We hold on to these things and they make us have diseases. We hold on to these things, it makes us have, it's like a self-perpetuating loop that gets worse and worse, a downward spiral, and it just makes you more of a unhappy person, stressed person. It affects everything else in your life just because you're holding on to these other things and not letting go. Like I always talk about, let go of trauma, but also let go of issues you have with others and with yourself and the world, things that the world did to you, so to speak. Number 7, wish I had children. I'm not the one to talk about that because even though I know that having children is wonderful, and then in the whole non-dualist thing, non-dual Hinduism and Buddhism, it's like you have the world of form, which is the material world, and then you have the formless world, which is the spiritual world. And I'm all about the spiritual world, but there is obviously a dance going on between the world of form and the formless spiritual world. But the spiritual world is where the form comes from. So the spiritual world to me is more important, the energetic world, karmic world. But there is an interplay, future, past, present, it's all connected anyways. And world of material and the spiritual world is totally interplayed. So like if you clean your room, you feel better, right? I mean, that's actually you changing the spiritual world, right, as well, because you're cleaning clutter in the physical. It's actually affecting the non-physical. So all this just to get to the point that the material 3D world, having kids, having a wife or husband, these things are important for your karma and trying to figure stuff out, especially if you have issues with these sort of things, relationships, and need to grow, develop on a soul level with relationships. So that is important. But on the more normal level, I don't really care that much about having kids and wives. Wives. Maybe I'll be into that, but a wife and kid, it's so like normal to me, and I kind of feel like it's part of this pressure of society, and actually they're trying to get you to make more kids so that they can go be part of the workforce, they can become part of um, the army, and I can go deeper into that. Um, I'll just say real quick that the a marriage license is actually not a contract between you and your husband or wife. It's actually a contract between you and the state. Two people and the state are having a contract, and their product, it's a business contract, and their product is your child. So your child is literally a product of the state, and that's what a marriage license actually makes official. So that when you have a marriage license, you are bound by that agreement and that contract. Birth certificates are very similar too. They're business contracts. There's bank numbers on the back, bond numbers. So it's not as sweet and innocent as people think. As far as the paperwork is concerned, it's just a business deal with the state. Okay? Okay, number 8. Should have saved more for money for retirement. I'm not the person for that either because I spent all of mine, most of mine. But I'm not too worried about suffering and dying. Because in the whole big scheme of things, no suffering and dying really matters that much. It's all about, did my soul grow? Did I develop myself? Did I face myself? Did I go gung-ho and do things the way that I wanted to, and to help others, and grow on a karmic soul level? Okay? That's just me though. Okay, number 9, not having courage to live truthfully. Now that's kind of connected to what I just said. Like, you gotta have guts. I had this meme that I didn't post yet because it had to do with death, so I didn't really want to post it, but it said something to the effect of when you just the irony that when your fear of death is killing your life. Pretty deep, because pretty profound, because it's like we are worried about our fear of death is actually what destroys our living, and it's kind of logically, it's ridiculous. You're gonna die anyways. It's not like you running away from death is gonna make you there's less chance of you dying. It's everyone knows you're gonna die, so it's ridiculous. Okay. All right, but anyway, saving money is, it's practical, but I'm not gonna say that we can take these things to extreme, but being practical and being normal is just a fear-based life, straight up. All of us are pretty much, most of us are normal in the sense that we do everything the way that everyone else is doing it generally, and we do the responsible, practical thing. Well, that's also just a fear-based life, generally speaking, okay? On the other hand, you don't want to be ridiculously crazy and reckless, but most people are swaying toward the normal, practical, responsible, and so I'm going to definitely want to try to balance that out by saying that. Number 10, I wish I knew earlier that happiness is a choice. Yeah, it's a good one. Number 9 and number 10 are really good. I talk about this all the time. It's just, it's your own. You are a God. You are at least connected to the God, capital T and capital G. And so you are your own universe. So depending on how much you've cleared your energy, worked on your mind, and definitely clearing your traumas and stuff like I would talk about in the lower chakras, you start raising your vibration, and the reality around you changes. Your mind, of course, is part of that too, but You just make that choice. And, sure, clearing the chakras isn't just a choice, but you had to make a choice to clear those chakras. So it goes deeper than what they're just saying here. Happiness is a choice, but you have to choose to face yourself so that you can become a better person, to be happy. And to clear your emotional traumas or whatever, because you could try to choose to be happy, but if those emotional traumas are still there holding you down, then you can't really get too far. Okay? All right, and to end, I'll just say what I said already throughout the thing, which is, to me, it's not about the 3D world. It's all about the karma, so to speak, which doesn't have to exist, but generally speaking, it exists for all of us. Karma and your soul journey, that's what matters. Okay? So forget just the short-term stuff, and even long-term in the sense of this life. Forget this life, forget this, just this month, and then even this life. That's when I think people can live a healthier, happier life. Think of the whole scheme of your lives, and that's what you're moving toward. You know, we live in fear, we worry about death and suffering, and it kills our life, like I say. So, anyways, that is all for the benefit of all sentient beings and recognition of the state of being of all states of being. May everyone receive this, if they choose to, with open hearts and open minds and open energy fields. Thank you for the benefit of all sentient beings and recognition of the state of being of all states of being. Thank you.